What is going on, Draft League fans? It is GeneralTarheel bringing you the APA Ascension Week 2 battle versus Coach Beezle and the Indianapolis Cabalions. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to this match. Beezle is a good buddy of mine, and he has an amazing team. Ironically, the initial plan in Zygarde and Rillaboom is something I kind of debated at the beginning as this draft as well. So, it's funny to see him get it. It's upsetting to see him have Slowbro, though, because that's what I wanted on this team. And, yeah, it's going to be an interesting match for sure. If you haven't seen the Week 1 match, make sure to go check it out. It was a very, very close match. And it's bringing us into this one, which I don't think is going to be that much different. Beezle is an amazing coach and a long-time APA homie. So, looking forward to this. As for Beezle's roster, we have the Zygarde 50%, recently banned from OU because this Pokemon is stupid good. Glare is just extremely annoying. Coil, Dragon Dance, 1000 Arrows setup is just whatever. 1000 Arrows is one of the best moves in the game. Ground type move that can hit flying type Pokemon and even ground them. So good. Bulky is all heck. Even better since Hidden Power Ice is gone. Zygarde 50 is a really good Pokemon, and it pairs so well with a grassy terrain Pokemon. It was always Tapu Bulu in the past, but now it can be paired with Rillaboom, which I think is even better. Rillaboom, very solid. I used it recently in my APA Ubers tier, and or APA Classic with Ubers. And Rillaboom is just so scary strong offensively. Very good defensively as well. Which a lot of people underrate on that. Good pivot, amazing priority with Grassy Glide, Knockoff, etc. Such a good Pokemon. Slowbro is almost unkillable this generation with its Regenerator plus Teleport. Obviously still gets access to Slack Off for more longevity. Scald and Future Sight spam for stabs. Thunder Wave gets coverage in Ice Beam, everything else like Flamethrower, etc. Very good Pokemon. Nihilego, amazing hazard setter with Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes, along with a very solid sweeper because of Beast Boost ability, and very solid with like its stabs and Power Gen and Sludge Wave, and coverage and moves as well, such as Thunderbolt. Fortress, obviously good hazard setter, decent steal, not really the greatest, but also gets Rapid Spin. Comfey is terrifyingly good with triage ability, being able to set up and sweep teams fairly easily. Mega Houndoom, very terrifying speed and special attack. Breaker, a lot of people sleep on this Pokemon, but is extremely good. Hawlucha, of course, with the terrain team. Very solid in grassy terrain, getting the defensive boost with Unburdened Seed, and then just going at it after a Swords Dance. Articuno, very solid this gen. I also am using that in Classic right now. Obviously with Heavy Duty Boots being buffed, or Heavy Duty Boots buffing this Pokemon like many other. So it's not 4 times weak to Stealth Rocks until it gets knocked off. Very good special defense, gets access to Freeze Dry, Roost, Compressor Stall, etc. Luxray just can be decently offensive guts-wise. And then Meowstic can be Prankster Screens, basically. Or Prankster T-Wave. Nothing too special else. So looking into the matchup, definitely scared of Zygarde setting up at given moments, because it's definitely able to do that. Especially with Extreme Speed being able to out-prioritize Sneasel's Ice Shard. That's important to consider. Rillaboom is just terrifying on the offensive side. Slowbro can be pretty annoying for my team to break overall. Nihilego shouldn't be too bad as long as I have both Melmetal plus Gliscor. Hawlucha, I need Mesprit or defensive Florges, whatever. Mega Houndoom, no real switch-ins to Mega Houndoom. That thing's actually a struggle, especially since it only needs to be stabs, and then it can be Nasty Plot and Sunny Day. Reasoning behind that is Houndoom gets up Sunny Day, and Suicune's Scald does even less versus it, which is very scary and very likely, because then it's also able just to spam like Dark Pulse for a little bit and outspeeds like everything on my team except for the speed tie on Sneasel, which is big. So if it comes down to that, That's going to be painful. Of course, it does take damage from solar power having Sunny Day up, but it only needs to be up for a few turns for it to claim some lives. So, Hawlucha, Terrifying Sweeper, like I mentioned, and Articuno, Comfey, Fortress maybes. But, like, I'm definitely expecting the top 3 100%. Along with Hawlucha 100%. Those 4 for sure. I think Houndoom should come. So, I think that's a set 5. And then the last one should be their hazard setter, more than likely in Nihilego or Fortress. Fortress would obviously give them that hazard removal to benefit Mega Houndoom. Now, considering all that, the first thing that came to mind that absolutely destroys their team is Iron Defense Body Press Melmetal. This thing just goes to town because everything on their team is basically physical attackers except for select few Pokemon. Slowbro. I'm able to have enough special defense investment to where Skull never breaks my substitute. Especially since they need to be like a max defensive Slowbro versus Mega Charizard X this week. Nihilego can break sub with T-Bolt, and Mega Houndoom can obviously break sub at any given time with Flamethrower Fire Blast. Those are the only 2 Pokemon that can break my sub after I get my defense boost. Because Zygarde's not doing anything, Rillaboom's not doing anything, Hawlucha wouldn't be doing anything. Articuno can't touch me. Comfey can't touch me. Fortress can't touch me. Etc, etc. So, basically, with only 2 Pokemon being able to revenge kill, and that just being a free kill for Melmetal, and I potentially set up again later on, huge. There's no reason for me not to bring Melmetal. I don't care if Houndoom can revenge me easily. There's 0 reason for me not to bring this set for how effective it can be. So obviously we're running just enough special defense to where Slowbro's Skull does not KO me. Or sorry, not KO, lol. Does not break sub. I believe I factored in like 20 investment Scald on Slowbro. Maybe. No, I think it was just 4. It was just 4 investment Scald. In case he wanted to put the extra 4 after 252 into special attack. So we're able to do that, and basically we just sub up Iron Defense, Body Press, and Sweep. We're able to wear down Slowbro a different way by getting rid of either its Rocky Helmet or Lefties or something of the sort, and then potentially toxing it with the rest of the team. If we get Toxic on a Slowbro, Melmetal just wins. It's very easy for me to win at that point because Slowbro easily gets worn down by Toxic. They can't just stay in there and slack off over and over again against my Body Presses. I don't have to rely on crits in order to win the game, etc. For our 4th move slot, I took a while to debate it because if I put in Protect and Grassy Terrain's not up, I get so much health from lefties back, and I PP stall their Scalds better on Slowbro or their Slack Offs, and it's just really helpful for me, especially if that Slowbro's toxic. Like, Protect goes a long way for that. So I really considered it, but the fact is, if I don't have that many Iron Defenses up, I still want to check the Zygarde. So you're looking at Ice Beam and you're like, Tarheel, what are you doing? Like, Melmetal gets Ice Punch. That's true, but if Zygarde is fairly defensively bulky versus my team, which I think is kind of likely, and its coil set up on top of that, Body Press ain't doing as much as I wanted to. Ice Punch obviously will still do a decent amount, but if they've already gotten the defense boost with like coil and stuff, Ice Punch is not going to be doing what I want. If they're like a rest set, then I'm not getting the damage I want over time. Ice Beam, however, allows me to always get a set 2-hit KO, which is perfect. Ice Beam spam just gets a 2-hit KO doing like minimum 52%, so even after lefties. If it's lefties plus terrain, obviously it won't be a 2-hit KO. But Melmetal will be eating hits either way because my Iron Defense against their 1,000 Arrows. Because Melmetal is insanely defensively bulky, and Zygarde's not that strong offensively, even though it is super effective coverage. So that's the reasoning for Ice Beam over Ice Punch, is just so I can get consistent damage on the special side, since Zygarde does benefit greatly by boosting its defense with coil. And that's basically doing it for Melmetal. I'm trying to get the Toxic on Slowbro, which I'm able to do with Charizard. Charizard here, we have a Spadef Toxic Stall set to really get on the Slowbro and just be annoying versus their entire team. So we're running enough special defense with a careful nature. So Slowbro once again can never break our sub. Toxic plus Roost and sub is just annoying the Slowbro. And really they have nothing solid to deal with this apart from Fortress. With Fortress coming in on a Charizard immediately anyways would be crazy. They'd have to do a lot of scouting before they go into Fortress. And Dragon Claw is just very spammable versus their team. If they, like, the only safe thing immediately off of my stabs that they could potentially go into to break my sub is more than likely Nihilego. Which, if I'm getting a lot of damage off of Nihilego, I am very happy. And if they don't break my sub, they will just die to 2 Dragon Claws. So, Charizard really benefits there. I also debated a Fire Spin set, which was recommended by Under the Radar or Kelly, my good old buddy. So I can just trap Slowbro, but the fact is Slowbro can teleport out, and I think that they 100% run it this week. But it also lets me deal with Fortress, or I could trap anything else on their team that I want to. But the thing is, I don't have a good way of dealing with Mega Houndoom, so I need a way to hit Houndoom if Charizard's able to still take a Dark Pulse from Mega Houndoom. So Dragon Claw 100% needed to come this week. Gives me good chip on all this Pokemon for that reason, and also allows me to still get damage off on Zygarde if needed. Next up, we are bringing Gliscor. Of course, we're rocking Toxic Orb, Poison Heal. We're running a special defensive set with Earthquake, Knockoff, Roost, and Taunt. This was really hard, once again, to decide on Gliscor's set, because I also really want to benefit from U-Turn. But I had to go with these. Earthquake, I just need to click because I need to check versus Nihilego. I know it's weakened in grassy terrain, but I need it nonetheless. Also, it allows me to still get damage off on Mega Houndoom to where I can just eat a hit if needed. This is mainly special defensive in order to help me take on the likes of Nihilego. Because Melmetal's going to be taking a decent amount of health from like substituting over and over again, as well as it's going to be my main Rillaboom check. So, keeping all that in mind, I want something that's a little bit better versus Nihilego, especially with the chance of Nihilego getting a T-Wave off on Melmetal as well. I don't want that to happen, so Gliscor is important for that. Knockoff is very important because it allows me to get rid of a lot of items versus their team, mainly being Rocky Helmet on Slowbro because that is the best switch-in into Gliscor is more than likely their Slowbro or Articuno, both of which love to get Knockoff for me because I can get rid of Articuno's heavy-duty boots, and then once I get up Stealth Rocks with my Mesprit, if I'm able to do so, then obviously Articuno will be taking 50% upon switch-in, which is huge. I am running Taunt in order to stop Zygarde from setting up. Originally, I wanted to be Taunt with a slow U-turn in order to get in Sneasel and just click Triple Axle freely versus the Zygarde and let it die. Or just they go Slowbro and then I deal with it accordingly. But the fact is, I couldn't afford that. I needed a Roost and I need Knockoff, I needed Earthquake, I needed everything. So it's really difficult to fit Gliscor's set, but this will benefit me more. So bring in Sneasel, of course, in order to help deal with the Zygarde, and also in case I need to win a speed tie versus Mega Houndoom, which is terrifying that might come into play. But we got Triple Axle, Knockoff, Low Kick, and Ice Shard. I need every single move on this. Unfortunately, I could not fit SD. SD would be pretty nice in the matchup, but I need Low Kick purely because of the Mega Houndoom. Because Low Kick plus Moonblast from Florges, or Low Click plus Dragon Claw from Charizard, or Low Kick plus Earthquake in grassy terrain from Gliscor, all KO Mega Houndoom. Assuming it is also max speed in order to potentially speed tie my Sneasel, or even if it's already speed keeping Charizard, that doesn't give it that much more bulk to benefit it, so I'm not that worried. This is all assuming I win a 50-50 speed tie, if needed. Otherwise, I'm not going to, and Sneasel is mainly just to check a Zygarde. As well as giving me Ice Shard for Hawlucha if needed, everything like that. So Sneasel is an important bring this week. I don't really expecting it doing too much though, considering I'm really just trying to set up for Melmetal, but it's just an important like Pokemon to bring in the pocket. Next is Mesprit. We're bringing Rava here with the Stealth Rock, Ice Beam, Psychic, and U-Turn. We are holding the Grassy Seed. Now this is our designated check to Hawlucha. With the defensive bulk that we have and the special attack investment, the defensive bulk we have, we're able to take a SD from Hawlucha. Max damage they do is 70% from an acrobatics if they're adamant. Max attack after a Swords Dance. And then if we're Grassy Seed, we're easily able to take 2 of those hits, and I'm able to get up Stealth Rocks plus KO it with Psychic, which could go a long way. Because even if they SD again in front of my face, I will obviously still take the hit from full, and I will still KO it with Psychic. It'd be a little bit of a ballsy play, but Stealth Rocks can go a long way if I do need the chip. So, just keeping that in mind. Also, Grassy Seed just allows me to take the defensive hit better from another Pokemon if I need to bring in Mesprit sooner versus the likes of something like Rillaboom. I can potentially take the hit, and then I can just get on my Stealth Rocks, and then I'm still able to have the proper HP investment to deal with Hawlucha later. Now, if it's Banded Rillaboom, that's going to be different, but other than that, it could still be helpful. We have the 92 investment in special attack, just in case I'm facing like a max HP bulky Zygarde with Coil, to where I'm still able to 2-hit KO with Ice Beam. But more than likely, Mesprit's going to be staying in the back, and only being a check to Lucha, which is good for my team because Hawlucha is a terrifying sweeper. But it's unfortunate because this is going to have to be my Stealth Rocker for the week, and it's going to be in the back, so I'm more than likely not getting Stealth Rocks up until like late game, which isn't helpful at all. Especially when they like to pivot a lot between the likes of U-Turn Rillaboom and Teleport Slowbro. Next up is Florges. This is our only decent Mega Houndoom check. I am able to obviously take 2 hits after a Nasty Plot or in the sun, and I'm able to get off the Moonblast damage. This also allows me to have something potentially to deal with Hawlucha, but if it's +2 Adamant Hawlucha, I'm pretty sure it just KOs me with Acrobatics. I'm able to take it from Nihilego if needed. I can be annoying versus Comfey. Mainly just also be a check to Articuno. It's my defogger, so I don't have to pressure the moveset of Gliscor. That's the main reason I feel like I had to bring Florges over Suicune. One, Suicune obviously is going to be doing less to Mega Houndoom in the sun, because Scald will be weakened by the sun. But Defog also allows me to get rid of hazards, which is huge, obviously, for Charizard this week. And Sneasel, obviously, if I lose my boots, but they don't really have knockoff spam, so I'm not worried about that. Originally, I almost brought Utility Umbrella over Leftovers, but because for those who do not know, let me find the item. Utility. Oh, is it not even here? This is useful items, right? Oh no, that's Pokemon specific items. Utility Umbrella. The holder ignores rain and sun based effects, which means I ignore the boost that fire type moves get in the sun. I was hoping it also meant I ignored solar power damage output, because if that was the case, that would be an amazing item for this game. But it does not. So if Houndoom gets up the sun still, it doesn't make a difference. So I just opted to be lefties and get the most health I can back. Obviously, it's nothing too special, but it was needed. So the Moonblast is obviously going to be important though to get the damage off on Mega Houndoom to where I can clean it up with another Pokemon after. With all that being said, the most ideal thing is obviously Charizard starts being annoying early game with Toxic, and especially Toxic on Slowbro. And then I just try to find the perfect time to set up Melmetal. It's that simple. If they have Houndoom, I have to be really careful about it, especially if they call me out on the Iron Defense set soon. I really have to try to keep Melmetal behind the sub to where they have to either lose their Houndoom or lose their Nihilego in order to break my sub. And that's only assuming that Nihilego is Life Orb T-Bolt. So, Life Orb or Choice Specs. It has to be some sort of damage boosting item. So, that's the ideal scenario, and looking into the match, they opted to bring Slowbro, Rillaboom, Articuno, Hawlucha, Nihilego, and Zygarde. No real surprise except for the Articuno. Articuno over Houndoom, crazy. I mean, I know they would have had no hazard removal, but like grassy terrain does really benefit this entire team from ignoring like their the hazard chip of Stealth Rocks. It doesn't really bother them that much. So being able to defog here isn't the biggest thing. So, but it's still unfortunate to see Articuno because I also have to check if that is Heal Bell. If it doesn't have Heal Bell, then Slowbro being toxic to Melmetal just wins, period. Because they don't have Houndoom. Because even if Nihilego breaks my sub, Nihilego dies and then nothing else can beat me unless they crit me. So, yeah, knowing all of that, I just have to set up Melmetal perfectly. And with that being said, I just lead Charizard. Because the only thing that Charizard doesn't like in Elite Versus is Nihilego plus opposing Zygarde. And if they lead opposing Zygarde, that's extremely weird. I don't know what to do versus that. It might just be a glare set, in which case I would have to immediately let a Pokemon get paralyzed because I don't have a way around that, which would probably just be Florges, because Florges isn't that useful this game, obviously, since Houndoom is gone. If anything, it just benefits me a little bit better switching into Articuno, so I don't get pressured all of my moves off of Melmetal. Even though Melmetal checks Articuno, with pressure, I will be losing a lot of my PP because of that. So I opted to lead Charizard. As they go Slowbro, I'm immediately going to substitute as they opt to just go for a teleport turn 1. And they go into Nihilego. This is a free Dragon Claw, so I can get damage off. But they show that they're Rocky Helmet Slowbro, which was a really good switching on their part. As they go for Ruse versus Slowbro, they go for Scald. They do not break my sub. And I'm able to get the Toxic off on the Slowbro, which is amazing. So they get off that, they're whatever. I just go for a sub again because I know they have to either slack off or switch. As they go into Nihilego once again on the teleport, and I'm able to Dragon Claw and do 80% to Nihilego, which is amazing. I go into Gliscor here. I think this is absolutely free, and this allows me to get the freest knockoff. If they go into Slowbro, I get rid of that Rocky Helmet that I just saw. If they go into Articuno, I get rid of the boots, and they go into Articuno. So, as you can see, we do get rid of the heavy-duty boots, which is amazing if I'm able to get a Rocks for Mesprit. Switch out right into Florges here as they go for Heal Bell, and Slowbro is no longer poisoned, which really sucks, because I don't have Toxic on anything else, and they already know what my Charizard wants to do. I'll go Protect versus Nihilego, because I feel like this might be Choice Scarfed as it goes for Telethrox, and I'm relying on that mainly because, once again, my Florges isn't that important, and I just click Moonblast to pick up the KO, and they go into Rillaboom here. And this is actually probably the most annoying thing I've seen. Instead of being Choice Band Rillaboom, they are Assault Vest, which is really good versus me, unfortunately, because they eat the Moonblast hit. Because overall, it's like, cool, Florges spams Moonblast pretty easily versus their team and does good damage. Not with Rillaboom. So I'm just able to protect and see what they're going for. They go for a Drum Beating, which is good, so it shows they're not Wood Hammer, they're Drum Beating, which is a little bit more beneficial. As I go into Melmetal versus the Drum Beating. Now this is important because Slowbro will outspeed me now. But I'm just going to go for Iron Defense because I don't want to reveal anything else. And I don't want to switch because the U-turn is pretty free for them otherwise. As I go for the Iron Defense, I was like, cool, I need to switch out here. I'm just going to go right into Florges because I should be able to deal with this Pokemon 1v1. And I don't want anything else to risk getting burned. I'm going to go for the Defog on their rocks as they opt to teleport. I'm expecting them to go back to Nihilego, but they actually go right back into Rillaboom to be another offensive threat. This is fine. I just go right out into my Melmetal once again. I protect first, just to make sure Florges can get the full. That does allow Rillaboom to get the full, but I'm also just trying to kill grassy terrain. Because in the end, I'm not really ready to set up Melmetal yet, because I want to get Slowbro poisoned again if I can. I just click Ice Beam here because I don't really care if they know I have it. It's not going to make that big of a difference. But I go for a sub here in case the Slowbro teleports, which it does, so then I can start Iron Defensing and seeing what I can do. As they go for a U-turn on the Rillaboom here, they're going to go right back into the Slowbro. And U-turn into Scald will obviously break my sub, but I go for another Iron Defense because I got plenty of them to use. There's no worry there. And I go for another sub as they go for Scald. And they get, I don't know how they break the sub there. I never checked his spread. He's got to have, like, at least 20 investment on Scald or Special Attack, I think. And he got absolute max roll. It's got to be something like that. Because Melmetal was supposed to eat, like, just about any Scalds. But, I go into Charizard here as they went for Thunder Wave. I don't know why they went for Thunder Wave that quickly. That scared the living hell out of me. Luckily, they missed. But it's not that important for Zygarde anyways. If anything, it's just the annoying para chances that could happen. Because I'm just trying to Toxic this fool. But I click sub as they click teleport. Because I was so scared of T-Wave. But the fact is, if I get this thing Toxic and Articuno doesn't Heal Bell again, Melmetal wins. I needed to Toxic that thing again. That was a big misplay on my part. So, as I go for a sub, they go Nihilego. They're just going to obviously try and break my sub, and I'm just going to take this free KO. I'm not going to bother roosting and switching out. I'm just going to take the KO. They go into Lucha here, which was kind of weird to me, but I was like, whatever, I'll go Mesprit. And then this kind of gives me Stealth Rocks for free. As they go Rillaboom, obviously it procs my Grassy, which is pretty annoying. But I actually clicked Psychic immediately, which I'm trying to figure out why the heck I did that. Well, I guess if they were Throat Chop, they could have technically still have beat me. Well, no, they wouldn't have beat me because they wouldn't have got the Acrobatics boost and they wouldn't have picked up the KO on anything. Yeah, I don't know. I should 100% went for Stealth Rocks there. By the way, I click Psychic, get off decent damage on Rillaboom, and because of my defense boost and I know this isn't banded, I'm able to take this drum beating and just go for a slow U-turn. And I'm still 100% able to take a +2 Adamant Acrobatics from Hawlucha later on. As I go into Melmetal, and now I'm just going to start going for it. I don't care. Cap, I go into Gliscor on the double, knowing Slowbro is going to come in, and I'm able to knock off its Rocky Helmet. Because that allows Melmetal to actually go for the win con there. So I'm able to knock it off. Like I said, get rid of the Rocky Helmet. I will live any Scald unless he crits me. And I'm able to also Roost Stall versus this, because at the end of my Roost, I'm able to get both Grassy Terrain, because I'm grounded, and Poison Heal. So that puts me back at 52, and I'm going to go right into Florges as they teleport there, which was good on their part and pretty unfortunate for me. But I don't want to sack Florges because Wish Passing is pretty important. As much as I want to just get damage off on Rillaboom and keep that thing weakened, I don't think there's a point, especially since it's going to be pivoting fairly easily versus Melmetal. But I'm just going to sub, and this is where I actually start going for it, because Rocky Helmet's gone, and even though it's not poison, I feel like there's still a chance I might be able to beat it if he gets greedy on his Scalds, or if he if he just gets greedy on his Scalds, or something like that. Because the fact that that Scald was able to break my sub one time, I was like, maybe they're not max defense and maybe I can 3 a KO. I go hard Charizard on that just in case they want to go for T-Wave. And right here I was like, oh, this is great. And I noticed with the rest of their team, since Nihilego is gone, once Zygarde is behind once Charizard is behind a sub, there is nothing they can do about it. So I was like, cool, there goes Zygarde. This is kind of unfortunate for me though, because I have to either Roost and switch, or I just get Dragon Claw for chip. My plan here was just to Roost, but they go for Skill Shot. I didn't even think of Zygarde getting Skill Shot. Of course it got skills. Look at it. Look at its skin, and the fact like a lot of Dragon types got it, but it's whatever. I just went to Sneasel here. I actually had no idea what to do, but I just went immediately into Sneasel just to bluff it, and then I just go for Triple Axle. Obviously, we do nothing to Slowbro, and that should be a free teleport for them, which is whatever, but it's okay. As I just go into Florges here, they go right back into Rillaboom. Rillaboom obviously getting more health back, which is pretty annoying, and then just being a threat versus my team as they go Melmetal, or I go Melmetal, as they go for Grassy Glide. But now I'm getting the max amount of turns of Grassy Terrain along with my leftovers, so this is where I actually go for it. I'm not lying this time, folks. This is where I go for it. Scald's not breaking my sub, which is perfect. And I'm just starting to Iron Defense up. Now I'm going to skip a few because I have to sub on certain things or whenever it fades. And then I'm at max defense. I click sub here again. He's just going for Scald. That's all he needs to do. And this is where I can start clicking Body Press. And we do 32. I was like, okay, not the best damage, but I could potentially still 3 a KO. I'm going to click sub again in case he gets greedy on something. Still click Scald. And I'm going to go for Body Press here. If he doesn't slack off, I can pick up a KO. He does slack off, which is good. Smart on his part. I still just go for Body Press again, because Body Press into a crit Body Press can just win me the game. And I'm greedy, so I'm going to go for it here. Did not get it. Goes for Scald. Does not get the burn. Melmetal is still a win con, which is amazing. And now that puts Slowbro in range, so I'm able to get a free kill right here with Body Press as we get Articuno. So even though we're able to kill Articuno, it's unfortunate because nothing else on my team has Toxic, so we can't keep Slowbro on a timer. So basically with Regenerator plus Slack Off, Slowbro is 100% able to stall out my Melmetal, which sucks. Because obviously I only have 10 Body Presses left. But, you know, we might be able to make do. So they have to go back into Slowbro here. I'm going to go for sub, not get greedy, and go for the crit again, as they try to go for Thunder Wave, catching me trying to go for the crit, which is amazing. Because obviously if Slowbro outspeeds Melmetal, then I can't do this anymore. So this allows me to get a chance to go for the crit again. Unfortunately, I don't. As they go for the Slack Off,
I'm just going to keep spamming body press in case I am able to pull it off. They're going to slack off again, though, to put them outside of crit range. And I personally don't care. They could try to PP stall me of this. If I'm able to get this crit, I will take it. We have another chance of it right here. And we don't get it. I thought with as long as this was going on, I thought, and the amount of times I've been scald crit to break my sub, I thought there was a chance I was going to get a crit. But nothing, unfortunately. We go for or body press as they opted to go into the Zygarde so they can get the regen back, because obviously they would have died there with Slowbro. And they are not KO'd. And I'm just going to click Ice Beam here. Ice Beam allows me to save my PP on body press as they go for 1,000 arrows and do a whopping 8%. So Zygarde goes down. They're able to go into Slowbro here. I'm able to sub again. If they want to slack off, it is fine. I don't care. It's going to be the same situation either way. I actually Ice Beam here hoping I could go for the freeze. I thought they'd be pretty cheesy as they just go into Lucha. I'm going to just click it again. And now this is the part of the match where it's just straight PP stall. With Regenerator Slowbro and Grassy Terrain U-turn Rillaboom, this is a really annoying match. To be fair, I'm also being annoying. So it adds up, and this is where I start going for Iron Defenses when I realize that he's trying to stall me and I am already down to 4 body presses. So I genuinely try to go for Ice Beam freezes. Because if I freeze him and he's frozen for 2 turns, then I basically win the match. Like, he can still regen and avoid a few things, but it really helps me if I'm able to get that freeze. So I'm going to start skipping turns because this gets really lame. But I start going into Florges a few times. There was a Thunder Wave on Florges there. As they go back into Rillaboom, I just go Melmetal always. I'm just trying to click Moonblast with Florges a lot. They do get a Thunder Wave on my Melmetal, which is actually good for me. The reasoning, Melmetal's not really win con anymore. Look at that one body press. The main thing I want to do is just potentially stall a little bit more with Melmetal and be a decent check to Rillaboom still. Because I still have, only 2 Ice Beams for Rillaboom. Melmetal's not that useful anymore. If anything, Melmetal's just staying in PP stalling Slowbro to where I'm just clicking Iron Defense and Body Press. Sorry, Iron Defense and Substitute. And which is what I do. I just go ahead and get rid of my last body press there. I don't really care. As I go into Mesprit here, I get greedy and go for rocks because there's way too much switching going on. They go for Thunder Wave, and thank God they miss. If he landed that, and Hawlucha's able to set up later, if he gets that para, I lose the game. I did not think about that at the time. I just wanted Rocks Up to punish this dude for switching out with Slowbro and everything constantly. Because this is going to be a pain for me to kill Slowbro. But luckily he misses. I'm able to U-turn out and go into Gliscor. And that's good. So basically I'm just able to taunt, not allow him to teleport at that point because I figured he wasn't good at Scald. And this allows me just to knock off. As I'm finally able to get rid of Rillaboom's Assault Vest. I'm just going to do more switching. Hawlucha comes out, finally goes for the SD. Me versus that. I go for Psychic, he switches out. I was kind of surprised because he needs the Unburden boost in order to win because I doubt he's max speed in order to speed tie Sneasel. So he needs the Unburden boost in order to actually outspeed my Sneasel. Otherwise Triple Axle comes in and just goes at it. Also I can knock off in order to deal with Slowbro. Basically if I'm SD Sneasel he gives me a lot of momentum there. So, but he switches out and I'm like whatever, I'll just go back into Mesprit whenever Hawlucha comes out. As he goes for SD this time. Goes for Acrobatics. Does 73%. That's like max roll from Acrobatics too. And we click Psychic and we KO Hawlucha. We were KOing that with any investment basically you had at that point. Because of the chip that we already had on it from Stealth Rock switch-ins. And even though Mesprit's at 4%, I still think it's potentially useful. So I'm just going to switch out and go into Melmetal since Rillaboom can't do anything versus it anyways. And this has just become more stally. So it's already at turn 109, as you can see on the screen. We've already been playing for like about 50 minutes at this given point. And it's just more stalling. And also later at these turns, right around here, I start getting a lot more wishes and I start stalling a lot more with Gliscor. And Beezle finally realizes, okay, he can't win. He got screwed over by the Thunder Waves. Florges is able to Wish Stall. There's nothing he can do, and he forfeits. So with the forfeit, I'm able to pick up a 5-0 win. Unfortunately, those 2 kills go to Florges, which I'd rather them go to like Melmetal. But we won. It's not the best win in the world because I wish I won with my actual strategy instead of PP stalling because my strategy didn't work because I couldn't keep Slowbro toxic. If I was able to keep that toxic on Slowbro, I won the game basically then and there because I don't think he was able to stall my body presses at that point. It would have to do, yeah, no, I think it's literally impossible. Plus, if he was able to do it, it would only be Slowbro left, and then I would just be able to stall the slack offs. He can't regen pivot, obviously, because it's the only Pokemon left, so, yeah. But the Heal Bell on Articuno was a great bring. He knew I was going to want to status Slowbro since it walls like his team, it walls my team very easily. But we were still able to pick up the win, so very happy about that, especially it being a 5-0. 5-0 was huge. So we are 2-0 plus 6, and we are the one of 2 teams in week 2 that are still only undefeated. That's how competitive this league is. 14 out of 16 coaches are all 1-1. That's terrifying. Every week is going to be a challenge, and I am looking forward to it. And I hope you all are no, not you all. Sorry, let me pull out my southern roots. I hope y'all are looking forward to it. So. Please let me know what you think. Also, let me know what your take on PP stalling is. It's the fact that I actually would have won, so I was going along with it, but it's still better than Wi-Fi timer stalling, I guess, because it is a legitimate strat, and I have the longevity of it. It's just stall, period. I know a lot of people don't like stall. I'm one of the people that genuinely don't like stall, but it's a playstyle, so yeah, get used to it sometimes. But let me know down in the comments section, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.